Hello, welcome to another Be the Ant preparedness video. Yeah, it's been a few days since I had something out there. Y'all watched the one video, know that we were under quarantine, so we didn't really do a lot, couldn't go anywhere, all that other good stuff. But we're back in business now, so hopefully we can get the videos rolling back to you guys. Anyway, today is just a nasty, dreary, 30-some degrees, rainy, and thought I'd go ahead and talk about your get-home bags, your bug-out bags. Now, we talked about it here a couple months ago. Sorry, back's bothering me today, guys. A couple months ago, at the end of summer, you know, get your stuff ready. Fall's coming, make sure you're swapping your stuff out. Well, now here we are, beginning of December, end of November-ish, and yeah, we got winter coming right around the corner. So you're going to have to be watching that stuff. With the weather that we have going here today where I am, if you were out in it and getting home or bugging out, and you didn't have some sort of rain protection, probably insulated clothing, you could be in real trouble real quick. You start getting wet, yeah, this is hypothermia weather. There we go. Oh, excuse me. So, yeah, if you're not keeping on top of what's in your bags, you could be in trouble, just in case, because we never know. That's the reason why they're called bug out bags, because might need to bug out just last second, right? Or our get home bags, we'll never know when we're going to need to use those get home bags. The car breaks down, whatever, we don't know what's going to happen. So make sure you're prepared for that. For the rain protection, like the Ponchos. Now, they got pros and cons to like everything else. They keep you dry from the top of your head, at least down to your mid-thighs. If you're a guy like me, it's a little bit taller. Maybe it just, you know, halfway down your bum. But at least keeps your top half relatively dry. Cons to that is if the wind's blowing, it's flapping in the breeze, making all kind of noise, making all kind of motion, you know. Quick motions draw the eye. Also, it is definitely harder if you're needing to get to something, whatever that something might be. They kind of can be in the way for that. But if you get a decent one, they'll cover you and your pack, and if you got chest rig, belts, whatever it is, it'll keep all that stuff dry. You got the rain gear jacket or something like that. It'll keep you dry, but your gear's probably going to get wet. So things to think about. Do you have that wool blanket in your pack? And I will tell you guys right now, if you guys have watched my channel, you've seen my pack. I've got a large pack. It's a 75-liter pack. And I've got wool blanket. I've got a hiker's tarp, so it fits up into a size this big, but it's like 10 by 12 or something like that. I've got hammock if it's warmer, and just those three things alone take up a decent, takes up quite a bit of room in my pack. There we go. Yeah, brain's not working today. I'm just getting that electric bolt going up through my spine every couple seconds, but it makes it hard for the brain to function. I apologize. Yeah, now can you attach stuff to the outside of your bag? Yeah, you could do that. The wool blanket will retain some of its heating properties even when it's soaking wet, but it's going to be heavy. So there's always trade-offs. There's always the back and forth. Yeah, you can get a dry bag and stuff it in. I'm not a real big guy on having stuff attached to the outside of my pack. And for me, that's because, okay, if you're in an urban situation, suburban situation, everybody can pretty much see what you got lashed to your pack. And having tons of stuff lashed to your pack looks a whole lot different than the college kid that's just going to classes or whatever it is, right? And if you're talking about in a rural, you're probably going to be hitting the woods, fields, stuff like that. And that's just more things to snag on limbs, briars, things like that. So once again, there's always that trade-off. But winter's rolling in. What are you going to need in your pack? Do you have those high caloric meals because your body's going to be burning even more calories now? Do you have that weather gear? Do you have proper fire starting implements? Okay, you're going to be dealing with wet wood, and you're going to be dealing with it this time of year. You know, middle of summer, at least in where I'm at here, yeah, things are going to be decently dry. You're not going to have to worry about it too much. But yeah, from October to June, seems like it's raining every other day. So do you have that fire starting capability that will dry out the that smaller tinder, and which can then dry out your bigger stuff and eventually, you know, get a decent sized fire? You know, you're going to be dealing with wet wood, you're going to be dealing with smoke now, so you're going to have to think, do you need a fire? But if it's, yeah, 35 degrees and you're soaking wet, you're going to have to get warmed up one way or the other. There are a lot of cool little things out now. I can't say I've tested a ton, but since the advent of the lithium battery, I think that is going to go down in history as, can't say as one of the greatest inventions, but it's getting up there. You know, before, if any of you ever had, the hunters out there, the old electric socks, I remember I had some way back in the day, and they took like 2D batteries each. So if you can imagine having a pair of socks, and each sock you shove 2D batteries in this little compartment, and then as you're walking around, your batteries are falling the whole time and everything else. Well, now they've got heated clothes, jackets, the hand warmers, the vests, socks, insoles for your boots, and they're all powered by that lithium battery. Much smaller, and that stuff could be a lifesaver. I'm planning on getting some. We got to watch Christmas now, right? You guys know I got all kinds of kids. But as soon as I can, I'm going to start trying out a couple of the different either heated vests, jackets, something like that. And especially the socks or the insoles. I am a hunter, and being out in the woods hunting and your feet get cold, it makes everything miserable. You know, it's like your hands get cold, you can throw them in your pockets or something like that. And when your feet get cold, there ain't no pockets to throw them in. Yeah, how's your pack looking? Are you set up for the winter? And another thing you might be thinking about, we've talked about get home bags in the past. I think it was either a 3 or 4 part series where I broke down in detail minimum what you needed, and it all depends on distance that you'd be traveling, right? If you're less than 10 miles from house and you got to get home, it should be a day, okay? If you're up 20, 30 miles, maybe 2-3 days. But that's in perfect weather conditions, right? If you're talking about conditions like we're experiencing today, yeah, it might be best to hunker down for a day or two, excuse me. So do you have provisions so that if you have to hunker down because of the weather, you can do that? Yeah, I just saw yesterday they putting us under a winter storm advisory and all that other good stuff. Some parts of the country up north, yeah, you guys get snow and you can get snowed in. So is your pack prepared for that? Are you prepared for getting snowed in for 2 or 3 days when it's only a 3-day walk? Because a lot of us like, oh, it's only 3 days to get there. I can get by with just a couple of the freeze-dried meals. I'll get there in time. But if that 3-day walk all of a sudden turns into a 6 or 7 day because you're having to shelter in a shed, barn, abandoned house, whatever it may be, old gas station, do you have those contingencies in place? Remember, you guys know me, I'm all about planning, contingencies, what could happen, what's going to happen. And I hope you guys can hear because of the rain. If you can't, I apologize. I guess I'll remake this video sometime. But that's the thing. You have to think about all that stuff. Sit down in your easy chair when maybe after the kids have gone to bed or something like that, and plan it out in your head step by step. If this happens, what am I going to do? Because I hope you guys all have routes for your bug out with multiple contingency routes, trying to stay away from those population centers, and that you've actually traveled those routes so you can get eyes and see what it looks like. Yeah, that might change. You get, okay, in the spring, what do we typically get in a lot of parts of the country? Flooding, right? You got the snow melt off along with the spring rains, and you'll get flooding. So some of your passes might be underwater and you can't get that way. You got to figure out another way. This time of year, yeah, you might get snowed in. Yeah, for you guys down in the south, this probably doesn't pertain to you as much, but it still gets cool down there, so you got to think about that too. But yeah, let us know in the comments. What do you have in your pack for winter? What are some of the things you're like, I would not be caught dead without this? Okay, share it with us so that we can all hopefully learn from you what you've learned from it. But yeah, let us know. Do the like, share, subscribe thing. We appreciate it, and we'll talk to you guys after a while. Bye.